page 3, paragraph page 175. 175. Okay, and our last headword was other than, full stage revision.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start where you ended. Okay, ready? Here we
Okay.
go. What's the opposite of the word quick? What's the opposite of the word quick? The
The
opposite of the
opposite
word
of
quick
the word
is
quick
slow.
is
Slow, very good.
slow.
Do you speak Japanese slower than you speak English? Do you speak Japanese slower than you speak English? No, I
No,
don't
I
speak
don't speak
Japanese slower
Japanese
than I
slower
speak
than
English.
I speak
English. I
English.
speak it quicker than
English.
I speak English.
I speak it quicker than I speak in English.
Very good. Do people walk quicker in hot weather than in cold? Do people walk quicker in hot weather than in cold? No. People don't walk
No, they
quicker
people don't
in
walk
hot
quicker
weather
in
than
hot
in cold.
weather than in
They
cold
walk
weather.
slower.
In cold, they walk slower.
Very good. Do we say every student is good or every students are good? Do we say every student is good or every students are good? We say every
We say
student is
every
good.
student is good
Why? Why? Because every
because
is
every
singular.
is singular.
Is every town in the world beautiful? Is every town in the world beautiful? No, not every
No,
town
not
in
every
the world
town
is
in the
beautiful.
world is beautiful.
Some are
Some
beautiful
are
and some
beautiful,
are
some
ugly.
are ugly.
Do you come here every day of the week? Do you come here every day of the week? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
come
come
here every
here
day of the
every
week.
day of the
I
week.
only come here.
I only come here 5 times a week.
Very good. Do you go to bed at the same time every night? Do you go to bed at the same time every night? No, I don't
No,
go
I
to
don't
bed
go to
at the
bed
same
at the
time
same
every night.
time every
I
night.
go to bed
I go to
at
bed
different times.
at different time.
Does everybody in the world have enough food to eat? Does everybody in the world have enough food to eat? No, not
No, not
everybody in the
everybody
world
in the
has
world
enough food
has
to
enough
eat.
food to eat.
Is everything in your room the same color? Is everything in your room the same color? No, not
No, not
everything in my
everything
room
in my
is the same
room is
color.
the same color.
Some things are red
Some things are
and
red,
some things
and
are
some
blue,
things are
green,
blue,
etc.
green, etc.
Does it snow everywhere in the world? Does it snow everywhere in the world? No, it
No,
doesn't
it
snow
doesn't snow
everywhere in the
everywhere
world.
in the
In
world.
some places it
In
does,
some places it
and in
does,
some
and
places
some
it doesn't.
places doesn't.
Is it raining outside now? Is it raining outside now? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's
it's
raining.
raining outside now.
Do you like walking in the rain? Do you like walking in the rain? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I don't
like
like
walking.
walking in the rain.
When it rains, what do we cover our heads with? When it rains, what do we cover our heads with? When it
When
rains,
it
we cover
rains, we
our
cover
heads
our
with a
heads
hat
with a
or an
hat
umbrella.
or an umbrella.
Very good. Does Thursday always follow Wednesday? Does Thursday always follow Wednesday? Yes, Thursday
Yes, Thursday
always
always
follows
follows
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Is Christmas always on the 25th of December? Is Christmas always on the 25th of December? Yes, Christmas
Yes,
is
Christmas
always
is
on the
always on
25th
the
of December.
25th of December.
Must we always open our mouths when we want to eat? Must we always open our mouths when we want to eat? Yes, we must
Yes, we
always
must
open
always
our
open
mouths
our
when we
mouths
want to
to
eat.
when we want to eat.
Do you always reply to letters you receive? Do you always reply to letters you receive? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
always reply
always
to
reply
letters
to
I receive.
letters I receive.
Is the weather nicer today than yesterday? Is the weather nicer today than yesterday? Yes or no?
No,
The
the
weather isn't
weather
nicer
isn't
today
nicer
than
today
yesterday.
than
It's
yesterday.
worse.
It's worse.
Which is the nicest part of your town? Which is the nicest part of your town?
Um, uh, Restaurant
Is the
is
restaurants is
the
the nicest part
is the nicest
of
part
my
of my
town.
town.
Are you always nice to other people? Are you always nice to other people? Yes or no? I'm
No,
not
I'm not
always
always
nice to
nice
other
to
people.
other people.
Very good. Okay. Next, what's the past tense of I am, you are, he is, etc.? What's the past tense of I am, you are, he is, etc.? The past tense of I
Past
am
tense of
is
I
I
am
was. Is I
is
was.
I was,
You are
and
is you
you
were.
are is you were,
He is
and
he
he
was.
is he was.
Very good. Was I here 2 weeks ago? Was I here 2 weeks ago? Yes, you were here
Yes, you were
2 weeks
here
ago.
2 weeks ago.
Were you here 2 weeks ago? Were you here 2 weeks ago? Yes, I was
Yes, I
here
was
two
here
weeks
two
ago.
weeks ago.
Where where were we in this where were you at this time yesterday? Where were you at this time yesterday? I was
I was at home
at
at
this
this
time
time
yesterday.
yesterday.
Were we in this room last week? Were we in this room last week? Yes, we were
Yes,
in
we
this
were in
room
this room
last
last
week.
week.
Very good. Were they here 2 weeks, 2 lessons ago? Were they here 2 lessons ago? Yes, they
Yes,
were
they
here
were
two
here two
lessons ago.
lessons ago.
Very good. What's the difference between a road and a street? What's the difference between a road and a street? The difference
The
between
difference
a
between a
road and a
road
street
and a
is
street
that a
is
road
that a
is
road
generally in the
is
country
generally in the
and
country
connects two
and
towns,
connects to
whereas
towns,
a street
whereas a
is in a
street
town
is in a
and
town
generally has
and
shops
generally
in it.
has shops in it.
Do you live in a road or a street? Do you live in a road or a street? I live in
I
a.
live in a street.
Very good. Okay, next we go. What's this? What's this? It's a line.
It's a line.
Are there a lot of lines on an old person's face? Are there a lot of line on an old person's face? Yes, there's a
Yes,
lot
there
of
are a lot
lines
of
on
lines
an old
on
person's
a
face.
old person's face.
Is this a crooked line? Is this a crooked line? No, it
No,
isn't
it
a
isn't
crooked
a
line.
crooked line.
It's a
It's a
straight line.
straight line.
Very good. Okay, next. Is the road between New York and California straight? Is the road between New York and California straight? No. The road
No, the
between
road
New York
between New
and
York and
California isn't
California
straight.
isn't
It's
straight.
crooked.
It's crooked.
After drinking a bottle of whiskey, can people walk in a straight line? After drinking a bottle of whiskey, can people walk in a straight line? No. After
No,
drinking
after
a bottle
drinking a
of
bottle
whiskey,
of
people
whiskey,
can't
people
walk
cannot
in a
walk
straight
in a
line.
straight
They
line.
walk in a
They
crooked
walk
line.
in a crooked line.
Right? Is ABC Street crooked? Is ABC Street crooked? No.
No,
ABC Street
ABC Street
isn't crooked.
isn't
It's
crooked.
straight.
It's straight.
Does the sun always shine? Does the sun always shine? No. The
No,
sun
the
doesn't
sun
always
doesn't
shine.
always shine.
Sometimes it
Sometimes
shines,
it
and
shines,
sometimes
and
the
sometimes
sky
the sky
is
is
covered with
covered
clouds.
with clouds.
Is it always hot in France? Is it always hot in France? No, it isn't
No, it isn't
always hot
always
in
hot
France.
in France.
Sometimes it's hot,
Sometimes it's hot,
and sometimes
and
it's cold.
sometimes it's cold.
Is Easter always in March? Is Easter always in March? No,
No,
Easter isn't
Easter
always
isn't
in March.
always in March.
Sometimes it's in
Sometimes it's
March,
in
and
March, and
sometimes it's
sometimes
in.
it's in April.
Do you always get up at the same time every morning? Do you always get up at the same time every morning? No, I don't
No, I
always
don't
get up
always get up
at the
at the
same
same
time
time in
every
the
morning.
morning. Every morning.
Sometimes I get up early,
Sometimes I get up
and
early.
sometimes I get up
Sometimes I
late.
get up late.
Right? Does the government of your country make the laws of the country? Does the government of your country make the laws of the country? Yes, the
Yes, the
government of my
government of
country
this my country
makes the laws
makes
of
a
the
laws
country.
of the country.
Very good. On which side of your body is your heart? On which side of your body is your heart? My heart
My
is on
heart
the left
is on
side
my left side
of
of
my
my
body.
body.
Very good. What's the difference between the words quick and quickly? What's the difference between the words quick and quickly? The difference
The
between
difference
the
between the
words quick
word
and
quick
quickly
and
is
quickly
that quick
is
is
that
an
quick
adjective,
is an
whereas
adjective and
quickly
whereas quickly
is
is an adverb.
adverb. Very good. Give me an example of the difference. Give me an example of the difference, please. He is a quick writer.
Is quick
He
writer.
writes quickly.
Here is quickly.
Do you speak English quickly? Do you speak English quickly? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
speak
speak English
English quickly,
quickly.
but I speak it
I
quickly
speak it
enough.
quickly enough.
But do people generally walk slowly when the weather is cold? Do people generally walk slowly when the weather is cold? No.
No,
People don't
people
generally
don't
walk
generally
slowly
walk
when
slowly
the weather is
when
cold.
weather is
They walk
cold.
quickly.
They walk quickly.
Can you text as quickly as you can speak? Can you text as quickly as you can speak? No, I can't
No, I
text
can't
quickly
text
as
as
I can
quickly
speak.
as I can
I
speak.
text more
I
slowly
text more
than I
slowly
speak.
than I speak.
Very good. What's the opposite of deep? What's the opposite of deep? The opposite
The
of deep
opposite
is
of deep
shallow.
is shallow.
Is the river Thames deeper than the Mediterranean Sea? Is the river Thames deeper than the Mediterranean Sea? No, the river
No, the
Thames
river
isn't
Thames
deeper
isn't
than the
deeper than
Mediterranean
the
Sea.
Mediterranean Sea.
It's shallower
It's
than
shallower
the
than the
Mediterranean Sea.
Mediterranean Sea.
Do people study subjects deeply at university? Do people study subjects deeply at university? Yes, people
Yes,
study
people
subjects
study
deeply
subjects
at
deeply at
university.
university.
Do you smoke? Do you smoke? Yes or no?
No, I don't smoke.
Which person in your family smokes the most? Which person in your family smokes the most? Nobody.
Nobody
In my
smokes
family.
in my
Okay,
family.
nobody smokes in my family is
Smokes in
correct.
my family.
Okay. When people smoke, where do they put the ash? When people smoke, where do they put the ash? When people
When
smoke,
people
they put
smoke,
the
they put
ash
the
in
ash
an ashtray.
in an ashtray.
Very good. If you arrive too early at the station, what must you do? If you arrive too early at the station, what must you do? If I arrive
If I
too
arrive
early
at
at the
too
station,
early at the
I must
station,
wait
I
for the
must
train.
wait for a train.
Do you like waiting? Do you like waiting? No, I don't
No,
like
I don't
waiting.
like
I
waiting.
dislike waiting.
Just like waiting.
If you arrive here at the school 10 minutes too early, how long must you wait for the lesson to begin? If you arrive here at the school 10 minutes too early, how long must you wait for the lesson to begin? If I arrive
If I
here
arrive
at the
here
school
in
10
school
minutes too
2 minutes
early,
too
I
early,
must wait
I
10
must
minutes
wait
for the
10
lesson to
minutes for
begin.
the lesson to begin.
Is it pleasant to wait for somebody in the rain? Is it pleasant to wait for somebody in the rain? No, it
No,
isn't
it
pleasant
isn't
to wait
pleasant
for
to wait
somebody
for somebody
in the
in the
rain.
rain.
It's unpleasant.
It's unpleasant.
What's the difference between the words ever and never? What's the difference between the words ever and never? The difference
The
between
difference
the
between the
words ever
words
and
ever
never
and
is
never
that the word
is that
ever is
the word
positive
ever is
and
positive
is generally
and
used
is
in
generally
question,
used in question,
whilst the word never
whereas the word
is
never
negative.
is a negative.
Does it ever snow in the south of Italy in summer? Does it ever snow in the south of Italy in summer? No, it never
No, it
snows in
never
the south of
snows in the
Italy
south of
in
Italy
summer.
in summer.
Do you ever come here on Sunday? Do you ever come here on Sunday? No, I never
No,
come
I
here
never
on
come
Sunday.
here on Sunday.
Does the sun ever shine during the night? Does the sun ever shine during the night? No, the
No,
sun
the
never
sun never
shines during the
shines
night.
during the night.
Is Christmas ever on the 21st of December? Is Christmas ever on the 21st of December? No,
No,
Christmas is never
Christmas is
on the
never on the
21st of
21st
December.
of December.
It's always on
It's
the
always
25th
on the 25th
of
of December.
December. Very good. Okay, next. What's this? What's this? It's a square.
It's a square.
What's this? What's this? It's a circle.
It's a circle.
Very good. Okay, is the face of my watch square? Is the face of my watch square? No, the face
No,
of
the
your
face
watch
of your
isn't
watch
square.
isn't
It's
square.
round.
It's round.
Very good. How many pictures are there round these walls? How many pictures are there round these walls? There are
There are two pictures
round those
around
walls.
these those walls.
Very good. Does she walk round the classroom during the lesson? Does she walk round the classroom during the lesson? No, she
No,
doesn't
she
walk
doesn't
round the
walk
classroom
around during the classroom
during the
during the
lesson.
lesson.
She sits on her chair.
She sits on her chair.
Very good. Okay. Next, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're
You're
shaking your
shaking
pen.
your pen.
Do you always shake hands with your friends every time you see them? Do you always shake hands with your friends every time you see them? No, I
No,
don't
I
always
don't
shake
always
hands
shake hands
with my
with my
friends every
friends
time I see them.
every time I see them.
Very good. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're nodding
You're
your head.
nodding your head.
Do we nod our heads when we say no? Do we nod our heads when we say no? No, we don't
No, we
nod
nod
our
our
heads
don't our nod our heads
when we say
when we
no.
say no.
We shake our
We shake
heads
our
when
heads
we say no.
when we say no.
Very good. What do we call this direct method we are using for learning English? What do we call this direct method we are using for learning English? We call this
We call
direct
this
method
direct
we
method
are using for
we are
learning
using
English
for learning
the
English,
Callan
the
method.
Callan method.
By this method, the students translate before speaking. By this method, do students translate before speaking? No. By this
No,
method,
by this method,
students don't
students
translate
don't
before
translate
speaking.
before
They
speaking.
think and speak
They think and speak
directly in the new
directly in
language.
the new language.
Okay. Is it more or less time to go to bed? Is it more or less time to go to bed? Yes or no?
No,
It
it
isn't
isn't more
more
or
or less
less
time
time
to go to bed.
to go to bed.
Are the countries of Europe more or less friends today? Are the countries of Europe more or less friends today? Yes, the countries
Yes,
of
the
Europe
countries of
are
Europe
more or
are
less
more or
friends
less
today.
friends today.
Reagan, what kind of accent do you speak English with? What kind of accent do you speak English with? I speak
I
English
speak
with
in
a
English
Japanese
with a
accent.
Japanese accent.
Where's the accent in the word excellent? Where's the accent in the word excellent? The accent
The
in the word
accent of
excellent
in the word
is on the
excellent
first
is
syllable.
on the first syllable.
Very good. Okay, do children depend on their parents for money? Do children depend on their parents for money? Yes, children
Yes,
depend
children
on their
depend on
parents
their
for money.
parents of for money.
Some people eat in expensive restaurants, others eat in cheap restaurants. What does this depend on? Some people eat in expensive restaurants, others eat in cheap restaurants. What does this depend on? It depends on
Depends
how
on
much
how
money
much
they
money
have.
they have.
Very good. During the day it's light, whilst during the night it's dark. What does this depend on? During the day it's light, whilst during the night it's dark. What does this depend on? It depends
It
on the sun
depends on the sun
and where it is in the sky.
and where it is in the sky.
Very good. Are there any clouds in the sky today? Are there any clouds in the sky today? Yes or no? There
Yes,
are
there are
some
some
in the
clouds
sky
in the
today.
sky today.
What are clouds made of? What are clouds made of? Clouds are
Clouds are
made of.
made of water.
Very good. Do you always remember everything you learn? Do you always remember everything you learn? No, I don't
No, I don't
always
always
remember
remember
everything.
everything I learn.
Some things I remember,
Some things I
and some
remember, and
things I
some things
forget.
I don't forget.
Very good. Do you remember when to use capital letters in English? Do you remember when to use capital letters in English? Yes or no? I
Yes, I
remember when to
remember when
use
to
capital
use
letters
capital
in
letter in
English.
English.
T-
Letters in English.
tell me, please. We use capital letters. We
Yeah,
use
we use
capital
capital
at the
letters
beginning of a
at the
sentence
beginning of a
for the
sentence
pronoun
for
I
the pronoun
and for
I
the first
and
letter
for the
of
first letter
people's
of
names,
people's
place
names
names,
and place names,
days of the week,
the days of the
months
week,
of the year,
months of the year,
nationalities, and languages.
nationalities, and languages.
Do you remember the name of this thing? Do you remember the name of this thing? Yes, I
Yes, I
remember the
remember
name
the
of the
name of
thing.
that thing.
It's a pen.
It's a pen.
Do you ever forget to answer emails? Do you ever forget to answer emails? Yes, I sometimes
Yes, I
forget
sometimes
to
forget
answer
to
emails.
answer emails.
Do you ever forget the names or faces of people you know? Do you ever forget the names or faces of people you know? Yes, I
Yes, I
sometimes forget
sometimes
the
forget
names
the
or
names
faces
of
of
faces of
people
people
I
I
know.
know.
Very good. Are we nearly at the end of the lesson? Are we nearly at the end of the lesson? Yes or no?
Yes,
We
we are
are
nearly
nearly
at the
the
end of
end of the lesson.
the lesson.
Are we nearly in autumn? Are we nearly in autumn? Yes or no?
Yes,
We're
we are
nearly.
nearly in autumn.
Is it nearly time to go to bed? Is it nearly time to go to bed? Yes or no?
No, it
It
isn't
isn't
nearly
nearly
time to
to
go to bed.
very good. Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Are you nearly always the last person to get up in your family? Yes or no?
No,
I'm not
I'm
nearly
nearly
always the last
always
person
the last
to get
person
up
to
in my
get up in
family.
my family.
My
My father
is
is
nearly
nearly
always the last
always
person
the last
to get
person
up
to
in
get
my
up
family.
in my family.
Very good. What's the negative of I was? What's the negative of I was? The negative
The
of I
negative
was
of I
is I
was
wasn't.
is I wasn't.
What's the negative of you were? What's the negative of you were? The negative
The
of you
negative
were
of
is
you
you
were
weren't.
is you weren't.
Was I at this school 50 years ago? Was I at this school 50 years ago? No, you weren't
No,
at
you
this
weren't
school
at this school
50
50
years ago.
years ago.
Were you here 100 years ago? Were you here 100 years ago? No, I
No,
wasn't
I
here
wasn't
a
here a
100 years
hundred
ago.
years ago.
Very good. Was he in a different classroom last lesson? Was he in a different classroom last lesson? No, he
No,
wasn't
he
in a
wasn't
different
in a
classroom
different
last
classroom
lesson.
last lesson.
Were we in this world 90 years ago? Were we in this world 90 years ago? No, we
No,
weren't
we
in this
weren't
world
in this
90
world
years
90
ago.
years ago.
Very good. Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? Were they outside the classroom during the last lesson? No, they
No,
weren't
they weren't
outside the
outside
classroom
of the classroom.
during the last lesson.
During the
They
lesson,
were inside.
they were inside.
Very good. Okay, next. Are there any fields near where you live? Are there any fields near where you live? Yes or no?
Yes,
There
there
are
are
some
some
fields
fields near I live.
near where I live.
Near where I live.
Very good. Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Is the number of people in your town always increasing? Yes or no? The
Yes, the
number of
number
people
of
in my
people
town
in my
is
town is
always
always
increasing.
increasing.
Very good. Are there a lot of battles in a war? Are there a lot of battles in a war? Yes, there are
Yes,
a
there
lot of
are a lot of
battles in a war.
battles in a war.
Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Were there a lot of battles in Europe during the Second World War? Yes, there were
Yes,
a
there
lot of
were a lot
battles
of
in Europe
battles in
during
Europe
the Second World
during the
War.
Second World War.
Very good. Where's my left hand? Where's my left hand? Your left
Your
hands
left
over the book.
hands over the book.
Where's my right hand? Where's my right hand? Your right
Your
hands
right
over the
hands
pen.
over the pen.
Where's my left hand now? Where's my left hand now? Your left
Your
hands
left
on the book
hands on
now.
the book now.
Very good. Where's my left hand now? Where's my left hand now? Your left hands
Your left
over
hands
the pen
over the
now.
pen now.
Very good. Why do we say my left hand is on the book but my right hand's over the pen? Why do we say my left hand is on the book but my right hand's over the pen? We say your left
We
hand
say
is
your
on
left
the book
hands on the
but
book,
your right hand
but your
is
right
over
hand
the
is
pen
on the over the pen
because your left hand
because your
is
left
not
hands
covering
is
the book
not covering
completely,
the book completely,
whereas your right
whereas
hand
your right
is
hands
covering the pen
covering the
completely.
pen completely.
Eric, what's over our heads? What's over our heads? The
The
ceilings over our
ceilings
head.
over our heads.
What's over your building? What's over your building? The skies
The
over my
skies
building.
over my building.
Oh, very good. Okay. Next, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're putting your
You
right
are
hand
putting your right
over
hand
the pen.
over the pen.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're putting
You're
your left hand
putting your left
over your
hand
mouth.
over your mouth.
Very good. Do you think it's a bad idea to go to England if you want to learn English well? Do you think it's a bad idea to go to England if you want to learn English well? No, I don't
No,
think
I don't
it's a
think
bad
it's a
idea
bad
to go
idea
to
to
England
go to
if
England
I
to
want to
learn
learn
if I want to learn
English well.
English.
I
Well,
think it's a good
I
idea.
think it's a good idea.
Right? Do you think it's a good idea to learn some English before going to England? Do you think it's a good idea to learn some English before going to England? Yes, I think
Yes,
it's
I
a good
think it's a
idea
good
to learn
idea
some
to learn
English
some
before
English
going to
before going to England.
England. Does it often snow in the warm countries of the world? Does it often snow in the warm countries of the world? No, it
No,
doesn't
it
often snow
doesn't often
in the
snow
warm
in the
countries
warm
of the world.
countries of the world.
It rarely
It
snows in the
rarely
warm
snows in the
countries of
warm
the world.
countries of the world.
Is it very often cold in Africa? Is it very often cold in Africa? No, it
No,
isn't
it
very
isn't
often
often
cold
very often cold
in
in
Africa.
Africa.
It's very rarely
It's
cold
rarely cold
in Africa.
in Africa.
Do you often go to the theater? Do you often go to the theater? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
often
often
go.
go to theater.
Very good. Okay. Does the sun often shine in the north of Europe in winter? Does the sun often shine in the north of Europe in winter? No, the sun
No, the
doesn't
sun
often
doesn't
shine
often
in
shine
the north of
in
Europe
the
in
north
winter.
of Europe in
It
winter.
rarely shines.
Rarely shines.
Greg, do you understand two people when they speak English very quickly? Do you understand two people when they speak English very quickly? No, I don't
No, I don't
understand two
understand two
people when they
people
speak
when they
English
speak English
very
quickly.
quickly.
Very
Very,
quickly.
very good. Okay, so we stop there for today, but very good practice. Thank you very much.